Hi everyone, and welcome to your TxRvAdventures instructional video. I'm Brittany, and behind the camera today I have Miss Lauren filming us. We've got to our left here a 2021 Thor motor coach we call Cubby. We're going to go through the inside and the outside of the vehicle, showing you how to operate this RV. At any point in time, stop the video, take notes, and if you have questions, you can ask them on pickup. We're going to start on the driver's side, and this is where all of your connections are going to be for the RV. So the first thing you want to do when you get to the RV site is you want to pull out from the storage compartment all of your power cables, your sewer, and your water for hookup. First thing we're going to do is hook up the power cable, and it's a twist lock, locking it onto here. And then the other side is a 30 amp power cable, and this is going to plug into the RV park. There's going to be a breaker box that you plug into. Make sure that the breaker's in the on position once you plug it in, and that way all the power from the RV site is going to come into the RV. Okay, making sure before you leave the site that you turn off all of your major appliances, then unplug the RV afterwards when you're ready to leave. Next thing we're going to do is talk about water. Each of our RVs is going to come with a water hose that looks similar to this. It's going to have the two ends. One side has a pressure regulator on it to restrict heavy flow into the coach, and the other side has the elbow here that we're going to connect onto the RV. So first thing is we're going to connect to where it says city water here and screw this piece on. Okay. Once we're connected to the RV, the other side with the regulator is going to go onto the water fixture. And then after that, turn the fixture on. Water will flow into the coach, but it will never fill your holding tank. This is just going to fill what you need at the time when you're opening the faucet fixtures. If you want to fill the water, you're going to go to this side. Take this cap off, and where it says fresh water connection, just stick this end into the hole here. Okay, so these are two separate tanks. This is one tank, and that's just free flowing into the RV. So being connected there will never fill it. This is the only way to fill this RV with fresh water. Now the RV is going to come to you full of water when you pick up, so that way you'll be able to flush the toilets, wash your hands while you're in travel. Okay, so when you want to fill it, turn the water on. Make sure you fill it all the way until what happens, Lauren?
Water's flowing out of the hole.
Yes, the water is going to flow out of the hole. So that's normal. This is camping. That's totally normal. It's going to happen, okay? So if you're standing here and water starts shooting out, just remove it. You're done. Put the cap back on it. There's a gauge on the inside as well, and that's going to show you how much water is in your tank. Maybe you don't need to fill up. Maybe you're at half a tank, and that's enough for you for what you're doing for the day. So you can always check in how much you have as your levels. Okay? Next, we're going to go onto septic. So down below here, we've got a hose that's going to come to you. It's going to be in a plastic bag in your storage, but it'll have a twisting and connecting lock that's going to go onto this cap here. And the other end is going to look like this. And this is going to go into a PVC hole in the ground at your RV spot or a dump station. Okay, and once you've got both of those ends secure, you're going to take this cap off, ensuring that both of these handles are pushed in and in the locked position. Twist this on to the Y here, where the plumbing is. And then what you do with these levers determines where the water goes. So when you pull out, that's going to allow water to come out of the gray side. This meaning your shower and your hand washing. And the black, when you pull this side out, this is going to be for toilet septic water only. Okay, so you want to make sure that when you're dumping, that you want to make sure the black is full before you dump. Okay, we want a lot of pressure in these tanks. It helps push the toilet paper and all the waste out and clean the tank efficiently. We don't want any toilet paper to get stuck on the side walls of the RV tanks. Okay, gray is totally okay to leave open. If you're connected at an RV park and you're taking a lot of showers, washing a lot of dishes, pull this handle, leave it open. Just let it slowly drain out. We don't want anything filling back up into the RV and into the showers, okay? If you know your black tank's full, close the gray, pull the black, then let the black drain out. One at a time, always. I like to, the night before we leave, I like to close them both, let them both get really full the night before I'm going to head out. And then the next morning, I dump the black first, draining all the sewer water. And then I like to rinse out my hose with the gray water. Okay? When you're finished doing that, disconnect the hose, go back inside the RV and fill the toilet. Just put your foot on the pedal for about a minute or so and let some fresh water go back onto this black side. Okay, because we don't want to ever leave it empty. It's much like a porta potty where they don't ever come to you totally empty. They've got some chemicals. So when you get it from us, it's going to have chemicals in it. And you want to go ahead and put water back in it and maybe a little bit of dish soap. Some Dawn dish soap is totally safe. As you drive, it cleans the tank and it helps keep any odors away. Okay. Just above the septic here, you've got the fuel. Okay, this is regular fuel. No diesel, please. All right, regular fuel here. This is going to be for the drivable of the coach itself, for the engine, as well as your generator. This is a gas generator. Yep, so make sure that you can fill this at any truck stops, okay? You can fill this one is at a truck stop, doing your dumping at the truck stop, all of that kind of stuff is a place we suggest to go. Next, we've got the generator. So this shares the same fuel as the front engine, okay? And what I'm gonna do is, while it's cool and the RV is level, I'm gonna take this cover off and I'm gonna check the oil level. Okay, how we check the oil level is we just take this dipstick and we open it. Remember, it needs to be nice and cool. And we wanna check the oil level. Okay, if it's full here, leave it alone, just keep going. If it needs to add any, we have spare oil and it's going to be in the generator. It's going to be in the storage for the generator. Okay, just make sure you check it, because in the summer or in the high heat, higher altitude, it's going to burn more oil and it will shut off if you don't have the oil that it needs inside of it. Okay, a couple other things we've got here. We've got an altitude adjustment. Okay, so this is going to be if you're going up to higher elevation, it's going to need a little bit more of the gas to power the generator. Okay. Whenever you get back down to sea level, go ahead and drop it back down. Okay. You've got a start and a stop button here. You can start and stop it from the outside, as well as you can start and stop it from the inside. Okay, be sure that you always put the cover back on when you're finished checking the oil. You've got your exhaust down below right here. This is going to be extremely hot. It's going to blow out the exhaust pushing this way. So make sure you turn the RV away from any wind. We don't want it going back into the engine here, and it'll set off your carbon monoxide detector. That happens, turn the generator off and just rotate the vehicle. This can happen a lot when you're boondocking or dry camping. That's perfectly normal. You've got exhaust here for your hot water heater as well as for your furnace. These are just exhausts. And then right here is for cable. So this is your coax cable. Bring with you a cable if you'd like to connect to the RV park. Most state parks don't have this, but a lot of the luxury or nicer RV parks are going to have where you can connect the coax cable. Okay, I would suggest something maybe 20 feet would be long enough to get to the post, as well as there is a digital antenna on the roof. So you will get local channels from that, depending how many we can pick up in your area. Okay. Going to the back of the RV, you have your backup camera. Okay, so we have a backup camera here. Automatically when you come on into reverse, that's going to turn on. It'll give you a clear view if you're towing a vehicle, or if you've got a bike rack behind here, or when you're backing up just to park into your space. Okay, this coach is very small, very easy to back up, but the camera does still help. Okay, this is for your towing. We do allow towing. There is a tow fee as well. Just let us know if you plan to use the hitch, and then we will unlock it for you. But this is used for the cars or bike racks. We rent bike racks. You can bring your own, or you could put a storage. The what are those things called, Lauren? Luggage rack. Yeah. So luggage rack. That's great if you're taking a really long trip. I've seen people take kayaks in the back of this. So I'm going to give you the tow capacity on this hitch. What is that, Lauren?
8,000 pounds.
So 8,000 pounds. We don't provide any of the hitch equipment, but you're welcome to rent it from a U-Haul, a tow dolly, anything like that. You can rent it from somewhere. Bring your own. In the back, we have a ladder on this one. There's nothing up there but air conditioning and service, okay? So we ask that you do not go up on the ladder. It's extremely slippery up there. The AC drips condensation. So when these ACs are on in the heat of the summer, it's going to get wet. You're going to see condensation drip off the side of the RV, and it makes it really slippery on top of the RV. All right, now we're getting to the awning. It's beautiful. It gives us a lot of shade. Okay, it pretty much is the whole length of this RV, which is really nice. I'm totally shaded right now. It's great. Make sure that if it's windy, okay, winds at night when you go to sleep, make sure you bring it in. You do not want it blowing away when you're not with the coach. Okay. The next thing we're going to show you is how tall this thing is. For reference, I'm 5'4". Okay. Miss Lauren is going to give me the length of the vehicle and the height of this RV.
The length of the RV is 24 feet.
24 feet?
And the height is 12 feet.
Okay, so height 12 feet. That means it's going to clear the air conditioning, everything. So I like to tell people, give yourself another foot, 13 feet, okay? Stay really far away from anything low, especially like Chick-fil-A. Don't go through drive-thrus. We see the most damages is in people's neighborhoods, okay? So tree scratches or, not making wide enough turns, because this is where we see a lot of damage on the back side. So swing nice and wide when you're driving these. Because this one is so short, you don't have as much of an issue, but still nice and wide. Try to go to truck stops if you can to fill up your fuel, so you don't run into possibly hitting the top of the RVs. Okay. Next is this really big storage compartment. Miss Lauren's going to show you inside here. Okay, so this is where all of your hookup connection things are going to be located. I have them out right now, but this way you can see still plenty of room. We provide camping chairs. They're going to be in here. Your extra generator oil is always going to be in the RV. This is just in case, so you don't get stranded on the road and don't have enough oil for that generator. We have a broom inside, so you can sweep out the RV. Plenty of space in here for more luggage, bottles of water, a barbecue grill. This is probably one of my favorite features about this RV. This is great. Down below here, we have some leveling blocks. They're going to come in a bag in your storage. And if the campsite's a little uneven, go ahead and put those underneath the tires and you can ride onto them. Make yourself a little bit more level, okay? We want to make sure we're as level as possible when we're parked. You have outside storage here, and then to the right of that, you've got the power outlets. These are GFCI protected. Make sure that you do bring extension cords. It's nice to have in case you want to hook some stuff up. Outside radios, outside TVs, things like that. You can bring a lot of stuff that you can hook up to here. Okay. Back at the refrigerator, there's nothing to do here. Most importantly, we have the one and only storage compartment that does not have a lock on it. Okay, that is because this is the propane for easy access for you to get in, stop the propane, turn it off if you need to. The RVs are always going to come to you with the propane in the on position, and they need to stay on while you're in the vehicle and when it's driving, because this propane is going to power your furnace. It's also going to power your refrigerator, hot water heater, and your cooktop. Okay, so you're going to want to keep it on all the time. If you turn it off while you're driving, your fridge is going to turn off. So we want to make sure that we do have that on. Then you've got the truest reading of your propane tank. Okay, so this is going to tell you how much is in that tank at all times. This tank is?
It is a 16-gallon propane tank.
All right, getting these refilled is going to be at any truck stop, U-Hauls, sometimes Ace Hardwares can fill them, or if you don't have time, we can fill it here at our facility. Okay, moving around to the front. Right here on the windshield, you do have your easy tag. Okay, so driving on the Beltway, 99, just keep going, don't stop. The tolls are included. If you head out of the state and you're going on a turnpike, things like that, we're going to want you to stop and pay for those separately. Okay, there is a tire monitor on each one of these tires. There are 6 tires on this vehicle, and all 6 of them have small monitors that'll tell you the pressure of the tires in real time. Okay, so we can monitor that. If you need to know what the pressure of the vehicle tires are, inside the driver door is going to have all of the pressures for the front and the rear. Okay. Now we'll take a look on the inside. Now let's have a look on the inside and our control panel. Here is where you'll see all of the level gauges to each one of your tanks. You have your propane, your battery, and fresh water, black and grays. So fresh, you want to make sure that you have close to full while you're driving, so you can use the water pump while you're in travel. The batteries here are going to stay charged while you're traveling, as well as when you're at the RV park. They're going to show that these batteries are charging. Okay. Black, you want to make sure that right now it shows empty. That's good. When it starts showing towards full, we want to make sure we go outside and we dump the tanks. That's when we get the most pressure. Okay. Next is your gray. This is showing empty right now. If you're leaving that gray valve open, it's going to stay empty. Okay. If you close it off, make sure that when it gets to the full, that you go ahead outside and go dump it. Next is the water pump button. When you turn this on, this is using the reserve water that you filled up in your tanks. And this is going to allow you to have water come into the coach when you are not hooked up. So it's either one or the other, right? You want to make sure you're either running on the pump in travel, or when you get to the RV park, turn this off. One or the other you're going to use. Hot water heater, this is heating your hot water on propane or on electricity. When you get to a campsite, turn this on, leave it on the whole time that you're there. And this is going to keep your hot water nice and warm. It takes about 20 minutes to get to a hot shower. Remember, they are short, small little tanks, so small showers, okay? Not a lot of time can be in there. This is your generator. When you come to pick up, we are going to read the hours on the generator, as well as when you drop off, we'll read the hours on the generator. How to start and stop it, this button right here. Hold the stop button down, and this is going to prime it, just like revving a lawnmower. Hold it for about 30 seconds. Once you let go here, you're going to press and hold the stop until you hear the engine turn over. Once you hear it turn over, let go. Shortly after you press the start button, you'll hear some sounds that the microwave will turn on. That'll let you know you have power coming into the coach. Okay. Before putting this in the stop positioning and turning off your generator, you want to make sure that all of your major appliances are turned off, meaning your televisions and your air conditioning. We want to make sure we give the compressor time to turn itself off before we stop the generator. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that off right now. Next, we're going to go down below right here to where we have some of the switches. Okay, so you have your battery level here. Next, you have your batteries off and on. You want to make sure this stays in the on position all the time, never turning this off. You've got lights to the inside of the coach and the steps. You have an exterior step light, and you have a really nice awning light here that you can use. Okay, so you turn that awning light off and on. You could have it on even when the RV has the engine, has the awning out or in. You can still see this, okay? Engine needs to be off for the awning. So this rocker switch on the end is going to control the power to the awning. And make sure that the engine is off, keys are out of the ignition before you try to power this back in or out. When you're trying to leave a campsite, make sure that you don't start the engine and then try to put the awning in, because they will not come in. Okay, down below right here, I'm going to show you where your batteries are. It's underneath this step here. This is the battery housing. Okay, and these batteries are going to control the water pump, all of your lights in travel. Right now I don't have the engine on, I don't have the generator on, and I'm not plugged into anything. So it's going to power certain things in the coach, some smaller things, not major appliances. Those are going to require your full 30 amps. Okay, some of the safety features that are on the coach, right at you exit here has the fire extinguisher, as well as right above me we have a smoke detector. Okay, and then underneath right here we have the propane detector. Okay, so this is for the carbon monoxide. Okay, so if this goes off, you want to open up the windows, exit the vehicle. Okay, let it air out. Okay, next we're going to talk about a major appliance, which is going to be the AC. Okay, so just above me in this coach has the air conditioning. Once the generator is on or you're plugged in, you can switch these knobs, power the AC in the on position, and how you open and close the vents determines where the flow goes. There are one here, it's got a screen and a filter. If you're going somewhere where it's really dusty, Big Bend, something that's out in the desert, this is going to pick up, when that door's open, it's going to pick up a lot of dust in here. So you want to make sure to get the best flow that you can out of this air conditioning, and not to make it work so hard. Take it down, and every so often, if you're on a really long trip, wash the dust off of it, pat it dry, and put it back in there. It's really important to keep that AC keeping as cold as possible as we can, because there is only one air conditioning in this RV. Okay, moving on to the kitchen here. We've got a lot of storage up here. This has all of your cooking items. We have dish soap and sponges, cutting boards, everything you're going to need for camping. For a full list of everything we have, it'll be on the website, or you can contact us and we can send that to you. All of your utensils, cooking items, and then pots and pans. This cooktop is glass. Go ahead and lift it up. And this is all propane. Okay, so you have a propane cooktop as well as you have a propane oven. So I'm going to show you how to light these. Press and hold till you see the flame and use the sparker. Okay, once you've sparked, you'll have flames. Okay, you'll start cooking on these and then adjusting the temp. Okay. For the oven, this has a small oven. You've got a light switch on the side here that'll light everything up. So you've got these as well as in the back. So if we can take a look inside, the far right here has a flame on it, and that's for your oven. So you press and hold it in for 30 seconds, getting the propane down to the bottom here. And then we're going to just use this sparker a few times until we catch that flame. So let's go in here. There we go. Okay, so once you've got the flame, just slowly adjust the temperature to whatever you want it to be. Now, because these are very small, they get hot fast. Okay, so adjusting some of your cooking times is probably necessary, because this is really close contact to the heat. Okay. Once you're done, just turn it off. Another really important thing to note with the propane is that if you're going to be in this a long time and you get low and you want to refill your propane, what you need to do is, once you've filled outside, you need to come back in here and burn off some of the air that may be in your line. Because when air is in your line, the refrigerator will not start because this needs propane while you're in travel. Okay. Really good size. You've got a freezer up top here, and then you have an off-on switch. And then we're going to keep it on auto pretty much all the time. You want to make sure that it knows to automatically, when you're plugged in at an RV park, use electricity. And then when you are in travel, it's going to use the battery and the igniter to use propane to keep this cold in travel. Please, please, please remember, always stay level. If your driveway or any place that you go looks slightly uphill, park on the street. You want to make sure this stays level so that it doesn't defrost. All of our RVs are going to come with the refrigerators already cold. Okay, these take about 8 hours to chill if they become defrosted. So we will set these to make sure that they are cold when you pick up. Microwave is right here. And we're going to go around this way. Got some extra storage underneath here. We have coffee makers and toasters. You just need to bring the coffee. All right. Next, something super really important is going to be our breaker box. Okay, this stops a lot of calls home to us. So for your main, your AC, your microwave, and your GFCI, all of your major appliances are going to be on a breaker here. Okay, if something happens to trip, go ahead and trip it back. There's breakers here as well as on the campsite side. There's going to be one breaker there. If you have problems, you may want to check the campsite, as well as if you're running on the generator. You may want to go outside to that generator, and if you forgot to turn off the air conditioning when you turned off the generator, it'll trip it when it's trying to catch too much load when you're powering that generator back up. It'll trip the breaker. So there is a breaker on the generator as well if it is not one of these. And that's why you're not going to get power from the generator. Okay. We'll also have another video that you'll be able to watch just about the generator and how to use it and how to check the oils again and go over the breakers. Okay. There are some fuses here to some of your smaller appliances. Going into the bedroom, storage up top, and then you've got USBs and a privacy curtain here. This is your emergency exit window. Above, you're going to see a lot of these little puffs. Okay, and when you take these down, they're going to be ceiling fans. So some are going to be in the bathroom, one's going to be in the bedroom, as well as in the kitchen. And that's going to provide ventilation and exhaust if you're cooking or using the shower, letting steam out. To the right here, you've got the furnace and the light switch to the master bedroom. This is your furnace here. Oh, by turning it to the right here, you're going to kick on the fan, and you can just adjust how much heat you want. This is a big offender of using a lot of the propane. Okay, so these use a ton of propane. We do have electric little heaters that we put in the coaches as well, just to try not to use as much of your propane. Okay, I'm just going to give you a look at the bathroom here. Pretty good size. You have a medicine cabinet up top. Pretty big shower. I'm going to stand inside this shower for reference. Again, 5'4". We've got a skylight here. And then we've got your shower switches. So adjusting the temperature of the shower. And once you have it just right, you could stop the flow. You can restrict the flow that is coming out. That way you can shower, you can wash your hair, and then when you're ready to rinse yourself off to conserve water that's in your holding tanks, then you can go ahead and put it back this way and then rinse yourself off. Turn the shower off. Okay. This is the medicine cabinet here. We do suggest that you only use RV toilet paper. We provide it, as well as you can get it at Walmart, some truck stops, and maybe even your campsite. They'll have some. Nothing else can go down the tanks except for this. We have trash below here for any flushable wipes that you have, or any makeup wipes, things like that. Make sure nothing else can go down this tank. Okay, your sink. I'm going to show you how to use the toilet here. So putting your foot on this pedal allows water to go right down into that tank. Each time you flush, make sure that you hold it down for at least 10 seconds. We want a lot of water to break down that toilet paper. If you just kind of slightly hold the foot pedal, it'll fill the bowl. You can see it's slightly filling there. So we like to fill it first, use the restroom, flush it down. Okay? And this is where you'll hold your foot on the pedal and put some soap down here to fill your tank once you've done the dumping process of the black tank. Just above here is the GFCI reset. So this is not in the breaker box. This is going to be separate right here. This is for all your wet outlets. Anything in the bathroom, anything in the kitchen. If your outlets stop working, please come over here and reset this. Okay. You've got your light switch and then an exhaust for your ceiling fan. So just screw this, it'll come up, and then turn it off when you're done using it. We suggest that you put all of these down before you travel. Make sure you double check and make sure everything is down. Okay? We don't want them blowing off. Okay, we're going to show you some storage here. Big cabinets. We have towels and all of the linens already provided in the RVs. So you have towels and all of your bedding is going to be up here. So this is for all of the other beds. We have 2 other beds besides the main bed. Okay. Moving on, we've got storage up here. Let Lauren show you some of this. A lot of great space. We like to use this for our pantry. So we've got the kitchen across here, and then this will be pantry space. So if you're gone for a week or so, a lot of room for all of your bread, your chips, everything will be safe up here. You've got a privacy curtain that you could drop down. In the heat of summer, make sure that you drop it down, okay? The less sun that we get in during the hottest part of the day keeps the camper the coolest. This is your second bed. So to drop this down, you're going to lift these cushions. This table is going to swivel, and then you're going to push it down. Just give it a little shimmy here, and it'll rest inside these grooves. Once it's inside the grooves, you're going to remove the cushions that are on the back of the dinette, and they're going to rest right here on the table, allowing this to become a bed. There are 2 seat belts here in the back, 1 on each side. And then just lock it into place. All right. Third bed is up here. This is the queen. There's a ladder to access up here. Sometimes you can lift this up to give yourself a little bit more headroom as well if you don't want to be using this. It makes it easier to enter and exit the cab area here. Okay, so we're going to turn on the generator. I'm going to hold the stop button and start it back up here. And we're going to go over the televisions as well as the Wi-Fi. So here's your TV. It's on a swivel. So you're just going to pull it out. And we're going to go through how to give yourself antenna channels. Up top here, there is a green button. It's inside there. It's got a little switch. And when I turn this off, the button will go away. The light for the button will go away. That means you're going to be using the coax cable that's outside. Okay? So you want to stop the antenna on the roof and use the coax. If you want to use my antenna on the roof, hold it in until you get the green light. This outlet is going to be inactive while you're in travel. Okay, so this will only be once you're stopped and the keys are out of the ignition. Now you can plug up a Nintendo Switch, you can plug up PlayStations and Fire Sticks as well. Okay. All of that will be accessed in that panel. Okay, so we're going to turn the TV on here, and I'm going to talk you through how to scan for your channels. Okay, so we've got the TV on, and you've got your remote. You're going to click to the menu button here in the center and scroll all the way over until you see channels. If you'd like to use over-the-air channels, which is our antenna, you'll leave it on air. If you're using the cable from the RV park, switch to cable. Since we are connected to our antenna, we're going to use air, and we're going to hit auto scan, start scan. This could take anywhere from 2 minutes to 5 minutes, and it'll start scanning for channels. It'll tell you how many it found. If you're in a very remote area, you may not find a lot of channels, okay? But in each new city that you go to, you need to scan for channels, and that way you'll get the local news channels in that current city, okay? While this is going, we're going to talk about Wi-Fi, Okay, so Wi-Fi is connected with the dash, and it's a small switch down below underneath your dash, and it's going to be a mobile hotspot. Okay, it's a small box, and that box is going to send out a signal when the engine is on, and we have a Wi-Fi password, and it's going to be in your instruction book, and you'll connect onto our network. If the T-Mobile signal is low, you may not pick up, a lot of Wi-Fi, right? So it depends where you're traveling to is how much signal you're going to get. Remember, when the engine turns off, you will lose Wi-Fi, and then when you go to the campsite, you're going to want to connect onto their Wi-Fi. Okay? So one or the other. So right now I've already found 38 channels. I'm not going to let this scan anymore because it's doing its job. You know that it could take a few minutes, so I'm just going to stop it at any point here. All right, perfect. Okay, once I'm done using it, I just push it back and I lock it into place. Okay, next we have the privacy curtain. So we talked about the curtains that are on the windows. And then here you've got one that Velcros across the front, and this gives you privacy to the front of the couch. Okay. Next, we're going to go and look at the dash. Okay. So this is pretty much like a standard truck dash. Not much is different between driving this and driving a pickup truck. So the first thing we're going to talk about here, you've got your ACs. Down below you have some outlets here, right there as well. And then you've got the radio here. We're going to power this on. Make sure that when you're done using the radio that you turn it off. That will drain the battery as well. So pressing this button and holding will turn it off. Pressing the home button here looks like this. It'll give you how to connect your Bluetooth for music, and for while you're driving you can use it as the phone. Clicking your radio as well as your backup camera. This is where that's going to be displayed. So you can watch your tow vehicle, or you can watch your bike racks, things like that. And it's really good visibility for when you're parking at an RV space. Okay. Tap the screen to get out of it. At any point in time, if this screen does freeze or you're having trouble clicking into another window, right there's a little reset button. Just stick the tip of the pen in there for 5 seconds, 5 to 10, and press and hold. And that's a reset, kind of like turning off and on your computer and resetting it. Wait until it goes through the full reset and then try to power it back on again. Okay. Below here you have your tire monitors. This is either going to be on the dash or just sitting down below here, and it's going to tell you the pressures of all the vehicle tires. So there are 6, and you're going to show 6 of them. When they're not in motion, they're going to look like this, right? So you won't be able to see it. When it's in motion, it's when it's telling the pressure. If it gets really low, you want to pull over and check on it. Or maybe it's just really cold outside and the tires are shrinking. If they start to heat up and raise in any way, and they start alarming and beeping, if it's raised just a small amount, you can go ahead and press the mute button, the center button on the back, and that's going to mute the sound. Now, if you notice it really raising, you'll want to pull over and let some air out. But in the heat of the summer, when you start driving and it's 100 degrees, it's definitely going to raise the tire pressure. Okay, that's normal. That can definitely happen. Right here you have your tow function, as well as you've got your hazards. Okay, so right here is where you're going to see your hazards. Looks just like a normal front. And then you've got your lights here. Okay, so your auto lights, your brights, and dimming the dash here. Okay, parking brake is just like a normal car. Okay, push it down to set it anytime you're parked, and then before you drive away, release. Well, that concludes the tour for this 2021 RV. So Lauren, now's the time when we say what we love about the RV and what some of our favorite features are about this specific model. So what do you think, Lauren?
My favorite thing about this RV is the open floor plan. It is very easy to access everything, especially while in motion, and it's very easy for couples who are beginners.
Yeah, beginner couples, this is great for when you pull over at a truck stop, you get tired, you just want to go lay down and take a nap. perfect for that, right? No slide outs, not really hard to set up. Takes about 5 minutes to get yourself hooked up and you're camping. I would say my favorite thing about this RV is storage. For a small motorhome, all of this storage, outside storage, closet storage, they really did a great job with the design of this one. And we just particularly really like this motorhome. So we hope you enjoy it, and we look forward to seeing you.